In a busy cafe in Austin, Texas, a young woman named Emily Carter sat with her coffee, watching the world move past the tall glass windows. She was thoughtful, not just about her own life but about something many men often overlook: the psychology behind what truly brings women joy, comfort, and emotional satisfaction. It wasn't about surface-level attraction or quick judgments, but about connection, understanding, and emotional presence. Emily worked as a counselor, and her days were often filled with listening to people's stories. Time and again, she noticed a recurring theme. Men would often misinterpret what women genuinely wanted. They would assume that beauty, money, or charm was enough, but they often missed the deeper truth. Women feel most fulfilled when they feel seen, heard, and emotionally safe. Later that evening, she met her friend Rachel Miller, a teacher in Chicago, who was visiting Austin for a conference. They sat together at a quiet restaurant. As their conversation unfolded, Rachel explained how she once dated someone who thought gifts and grand gestures were the key to her happiness. "Don't get me wrong," Rachel laughed. "It was nice. But what I really wanted was someone who would just listen to me without checking his phone every 2 minutes." Emily nodded knowingly. This was the essence of the psychology many men never learned. Pleasure for women wasn't always about the physical, but about feeling emotionally valued. Across the country in New York City, another woman, Samantha Brooks, a marketing manager, shared her perspective. In a video call with Emily and Rachel, she explained that women often find joy in simple, consistent efforts. "When a man remembers something small I said weeks ago and brings it up later," Samantha said with a smile, "that makes me feel more connected than any fancy date ever could." These three women realized they were all talking about the same truth. Female pleasure, in its most human and psychological sense, wasn't about shallow perceptions but about emotional presence, empathy, and consistency. Over the weeks, Emily began writing a blog on this very subject. She wrote that pleasure for women can be found in moments of genuine laughter, in conversations where their voice matters, and in feeling emotionally supported during stressful times. She explained that women value kindness and reliability because these qualities create a sense of safety. And when a woman feels safe and respected, her happiness flourishes. Her blog quickly gained readers from Los Angeles, Seattle, and even Miami, with women resonating deeply with her words. Men, too, began to comment, admitting they had never thought about pleasure in this psychological way. One reader wrote, "I used to think my girlfriend just wanted romantic gestures, but after reading your article, I realized what she really craves is my attention and genuine presence." Emily smiled as she read these responses. Her mission was being fulfilled, not to expose secrets but to highlight a truth hidden in plain sight: that women's happiness often rests on emotional intelligence and understanding. She continued to share stories from her counseling sessions, with names changed for privacy, explaining how women describe joy in everyday gestures: a husband helping with the dishes without being asked, a boyfriend asking about her day and listening fully, or a partner encouraging her dreams rather than dismissing them. As her blog evolved, she was invited to give a talk in San Francisco at a conference about relationships and communication. On stage, she explained, "The psychology of female pleasure is not mysterious, it's about empathy. When women feel understood, respected, and emotionally secure, they thrive. That's the kind of joy that lasts far longer than any fleeting attraction." The audience applauded, and afterward, several people came to thank her. One woman said, "You put into words what so many of us feel but never articulate." Another man said, "I realize I need to focus less on impressing my wife and more on understanding her. That's the real key." Back home in Austin, Emily reflected on her journey. What started as a conversation between friends had become a movement of sorts, a reminder to both men and women that true connection is built not on appearances but on empathy and respect. And as she closed her journal for the night, she smiled, knowing that perhaps more men would finally learn the psychology behind female joy, the kind that builds lasting bonds and meaningful relationships.